Caller 10, good luck, you'll get this pair. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Alan Cox.
The sort of man we used to describe at school as a complete prick.
The Alan Cox Show
On 100.7
WMMS.
Well, she broke my heart in Walgreens and I cried all the way to Sears. I tell you, I hadn't heard this much in darn near 20 years. It felt just like a mule that kicked me right between my ears. When she broke my heart in Walgreens and I cried all the way to Sears. There was a time when I believed that she belonged to me. She told me that I was the only one she'd ever need. That was before this trucker came and took her for a ride. Now there's nothing I can do to keep her satisfied. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew there was something wrong. Suddenly she'd get headaches every time we were alone. When she finally told me we were downtown at the mall, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I thought for sure I'd fall. Well, she broke my heart in Walgreens, and I cried all the way to Sears. I tell you, I had
Well, Walgreens back in the news, finally for something good. CVS and Walgreens have announced, at least in states that where it's legal, states where they're not trying to turn everything into the Handmaid's Tale, CVS and Walgreens are going to start stocking mifepristone, which is one of the abortion pills that will expand access for women in those states. You'll be able to walk right into CVS and Walgreens and exercise control over your own body. I don't know that Ohio is one of those states.
I doubt it.
But Mary, of course, living in New York, people in Pennsylvania, our bureau chiefs in Massachusetts, California, Illinois, all the Walgreens and CVS stores. CVS will do it in all Rhode Island and Massachusetts pharmacies. Of course, there are states that are trying to turn the clock back, I don't know, 300 years.
Is it going to be on the shelves or behind the pharmacy?
On the shelves.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
We'll
going to get
grab some.
stolen.
Huh?
That's going to get stolen.
Yeah. So
They're going to have to lock it up or something.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure they will, yeah.
They'll keep, I mean, Jesus, they checked my ID the other day when I was getting cough
Cold
drops.
medicine, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good news for women who don't want to live in a theocracy, that will be available. Again, I don't think that Ohio doesn't feel like
women
one of
want to
those.
live in a sheocracy, right?
Yeah!
You guys like that.
And so they're looking at other states where it's kind of, on the bubble. I mean, there's a court today in Montana that said that the laws they're trying to pass restricting abortion rights are unconstitutional. And that's big sky country. So that's going on there, and that's good news. Well, speaking of kids, somebody emailed me, and the subject line just said, did Donnie have a kid? Donnie, our old intern, who checks in from time to time, the last time we talked to him, and we kind of, over the years, we figured out what that pattern is, right? When he's kind of in a bad way, he doesn't check in with us. He's had his struggles with substances, with alcohol, with loose women. And so he's kind of off. He's been in, I think, the Charlotte area for some time now. Last time he talked to us was the first time in a while. I feel like a couple of years maybe. And he's doing much better. He said he did get fat. But whatever, right? He's got a job. He's gainfully employed. But a segment from many years ago that will show up on the Sum Of shows every so often is when he's got a misspelled tattoo. And he was trying to get the abandon hope all ye who enter here tattoo. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And the tattoo artist misspelled, was it Abaddon or something?
Abandon.
Abandon all ye who ye enter ye. Right. So
Poor Donnie.
I know he was. Listen, You got to double check with your tattoo. Unless he gave it to the guy and said, put this on me. Or girl.
He's the guy that trained me.
Right.
He trained me.
Explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, well, I guess Donnie said he didn't read Erica's handbook. Erica had painstakingly created a handbook.
Intern handbook?
Intern handbook.
I didn't see this handbook.
No, because by the time you got around, it was, I thought she showed it to you.
I don't remember.
All right.
that.
Well, clearly not.
I was
but,
like, this is easily 8 years ago.
Yeah. And, to her credit, it wasn't something that I would think would have been that complex, but I think she was doing it to
Her number one rule was to not bother Alan.
Well, no. My only rule on the show was don't make my job harder. That's right. And so that was the mantra. Technically, remains the mantra to this day. But anyway, I got a letter from Ron. He and his wife are driving to Cincinnati, and he was scrolling around. And, you see those most common baby names. And he found something that was a list of the worst baby names that had shown up online for boys and girls. And the reason he sent that to me was because Abaddon was one of the boys' names. And I'm like, well, maybe they were like a budding Satanist or something. That sounds vaguely nefarious. But there's some great names on here. I'd like to really show you the list. Let me see if I can. And I've got it, but I kind of want to show it to you rather than just read it to you. I can't find it. Anyway, I'll read it to you because it's a pretty good list. Cletus.
I like a baby Cletus.
Zoe, Chloe. You like a what?
A baby Cletus.
Baby. Yeah, and again, I mean, kids' names are, it's all relative. I mean, unless you're trying to name your kid Hitler or something, like, who cares if you name your...
Cletus?
Huh?
But a Cletus, that kid's going to come out with a Roth IRA. Like, you can't have a child named Cletus.
A Roth IRA? What does that mean? What?
He's already prepared for adulthood with a name
No,
like
Cletus is a
That's like a Hillrod name. Yeah,
it's
Cletus.
like a dirty hillbilly.
Yeah.
I know Cletuses, and they're not... Well, I
You
guess they
don't know a single
I have
Cletus.
family members named Cletus.
And you're trying to say Cletus is a blue blood name? You don't have blue bloods in your family.
It's like a
Before
white collar name.
what's it called? Simpsons. I know his name's Cletus. But then also, what's the Eddie Murphy movie where he plays all the parts?
Norbit?
No, the original one.
Oh.
Professor Clump.
Yeah, the Clumps.
No, the first one. What's it called? Nutty
The
Professor.
Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
The grandma's talking crap to the grandpa, and she's like taking off her earrings. She's like, "Come on, Cletus, come on, no, come on, Cletus." That's the only other reference I have for a Cletus.
I think
Wow.
That's still after The Simpsons.
I'm saying
Yeah,
those two.
those two, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to find this so I can show it to you. Okay, well, anyway, Cletus is on there. Danger for boys. Now, some of these you will recognize as celebrity child names, which makes them kind of ridiculous in a lot of ways. Like, for instance, Jason Lee famously named his kid Pilot Inspector. Or was that Jonathan Davis? Jonathan Davis from Korn named his kid some weird thing, and then Jason Lee named his kid a weird... I think Pilot Inspector might be Jonathan Davis.
I think Pilot Inspector's Jason Lee.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Inspector is on here. Ebola with an H on the end for a boy. Now, that to me seems to be a genderless name, right? If you can have an H on the end, it's a lovely name for a girl. This is our daughter, Ebola. I mean, it's something that doesn't show up very often on this
No one's
side
trying
of
to
the
get into
pond.
her pants, that's for sure.
Now, I'm setting you up because the girls' list is way better than the boys, but I'm just going down the boys first. Jedi, Lucifer, Spartacus, Abaddon, Champ on this list of worst names. Now, the girls' names are pretty great.
Champ is a dog name.
Well, technically any name is a dog name, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Cletus is a dog name. Would you name your dog Pilot Inspector?
No, I wouldn't
'Cause
name
that's
anything that.
Oh, okay. Because that's the real test. Naming your dog Pilot Inspector. So the girls' names, they said that these are the worst names that are showing up for girls. Now, again, this can't be a list of names that are showing up so frequently. I think that they just are names that have popped up and people don't like them. Appaloosa.
Appaloosa.
Now, do you know what Appaloosa is?
It sounds like a city.
Sounds like an apple that got away.
It is a horse, technically. You know when Poundcake does his horse impression? When he does animals? Right. Appaloosa is technically a horse, but a girl's name, A Miracle. A-H and then Miracle. I like that.
Man.
I like... You've heard of Beverly, right? This is Beverly.
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 That's like
Beverly.
Beverly is Buddy's sister. It's her brother and a sister named Beverly.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's maybe why it sounded so familiar.
It sounds familiar. I talked about her before. That's my widowed sister, Beverly. She born on March 14th. Her birthday coming up.
So when you two were little,
Yeah.
you'd call her Beverly.
That's her name. On a birth certificate, it said Beverly.
Okay.
She likes corn.
She likes corn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
The band.
Oh, Pilot Inspector. No, it sounds like a name Poundcake would come up with.
That is well.
All of these are gonna sound like names he comes up with because they're great.
Well, it sounds like because I used to call the devil, so I can relate to
devil.
this. So I probably thought her name was Beverly.
Beverly.
And Beverly. It's Beverly. Yeah, Beverly. That's what I said, bitch.
It's always bitch. Why is it
Beverly.
always
That's
bitch?
what he likes.
At a young age, it's a term of endearment.
It's a what?
Term of endearment.
Now the next one is Boom Queefa, and that's pretty good too. Terrible girls' names list. Boom BOOMQUIFA. Boom Queefa.
Bon Qui is
I was
next.
just gonna say that was Mad TV, wasn't it? Bone Qui.
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar.
Chicken Phoenicia, watermelon tram.
Boom Queefa. You're not going to top that name.
Uncompetable.
That is an uncompetable name.
Uncompetable.
Chardonnay. Someone put an R in Elizabeth, so it's Elizabeth.
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 You're naming all my cousins now.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, Beverly. That's a family reunion.
People are just getting lazy and just putting the lisp in there. To
But
be
it's
like, we know
not-
people are going to mispronounce it, so let's just put the lisp in
Well,
there.
there's no lisp. Elizabeth. They put an R in. Elizabeth.
But
They're just getting creative.
Yes.
there's
Can't have a
People-
bad name if you don't get creative.
People are constantly trying to come up with new ways. You know, we were talking about last week. I said people are desperate for ways to stand out, and there are people who aren't
not
who
in a
aren't
good way.
aren't inherently talented in any way. So they're like, I'm going to make myself interesting to look at. I'm going to take a perfectly normal name and spell it a wild way. You know,
You're not setting your child up for success. That name is not going to be on a door or a parking spot. Like
But
that's
times
not a CEO
change.
name. Bon Quifa parking
no,
spot.
Yeah,
well,
if
you don't
start
know.
if you start the trend though, you're gonna feel
Yeah.
real good about it.
CEO Bon Quifa Alizé. Like what?
You say that now, but I'm sure back in the day people were like, Jenny? What the hell is Jenny?
I think
What
they-
is
Jennifer,
Jennifer?
yeah.
They go
Well,
by
yeah,
a middle
but-
name or they shorten it. It's like instead if it was Bon Quifa, they'd be like Qui or something.
But every name sounds weird until a lot of people start having it. So if Boom Queefa takes off,
Well,
Which
listen,
I hope it does.
me too.
I mean I
Let's
didn't
turn that frown upside down on the worst baby names list. Boom Queefa, Chardonnay, Elizabeth. I'm Unique, which is I apostrophe and then Munique, like Monique, but with a U instead of an O. I'm Unique. I like that. L'Oreal. I mean, you're going to get sued for that probably. Maybelline,
I don't
that's
think
in
you
there.
can sue
you can't
them
do that. That's a name.
once it's a name.
Yeah, but L'Oreal.
Now, if her middle name was copyright, that'd be pretty lit. L'Oreal copyright
What's the surname?
infringement.
My name's L'Oreal Infringement. Now you're going to see that on a door. And then the last name on the list is Vajonica.
Vajonica.
V-E, not V-A-G. Me too.
Vajonica.
Vajonica, like Veronica, but
But
a
with a
J
J.
instead of an R. You're right. Vajonica. So they do all sound like names that Poundcake came up with, and he usually comes up with some great names. So maybe there's a couple of arrows there to put in your quiver, Cody.
Okay.
A Miracle, Beverly. I think Boom Queefa might be taking the
Boom
gold
Queefa's
there.
amazing.
I thought Elizabeth was the best one, but Boom Queefa, the more I hear it, it really does roll off the tongue.
Lesbiana.
Well, yeah, that. But again, until multiple people start having the name, every name sounds weird. You don't think Mary sounded strange the first time
First
somebody
name
said
in the
it?
book, baby.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It was Eve. But you get what I'm saying. You get it.
Uh-huh. I do get it. Somebody, we're talking about sitcom themes last break. Somebody was listening on the iHeartRadio app and sent a Mary theme.
Ooh.
Do you want to hear a Mary theme?
Sure.
Here's Mary's sitcom theme.
It's Nirvana.
Mary's back in town, hoping that her boyfriend's not around. Hey, little love, you hear what I'm saying? Up all night while you keeping me waiting. Mary's back in town.
I didn't get the middle part there.
He
Yeah,
said
it's a
Mary's
little
back in town
overmodulated.
hoping her boyfriend's not around. Something about keeping me up all night waiting.
Yeah, I don't get that part.
I don't either.
Yeah. Hoping her boyfriend's not around.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
is that
listen.
my theme song?
Huh?
So why is that my theme song?
Because, I don't know, you need another
put
theme
your
song.
name in it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yours already got a theme song.
I do have a theme song. I have several. What can I say? I need a new Fish Detective theme song. I have my horse cop. What am I? A lawyer? I have my my lawyer theme song.
In the West, yep.
Oh, right. Everybody loves Mare.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, someone wants to make me a Fish Detective theme song, not some weird innuendo messages.
Santora. Fish detective.
Well, Poundcake already
There
did
you
it
go.
for him. Yep, he already blew his
Yeah,
wad.
yeah.
She's not your average lawyer, but she is very hot. She knows how to cook up on her hot and steamy pot. With her horse, you know she likes to ride him everywhere. Look out for this pioneer, everybody loves Mare. Everyone says that she's the greatest lawyer in the West. And every day she likes to dress up in her Sunday best. When there's trouble in the West, you better call her if you dare. Look out for this pioneer, everybody loves Mare. Look out for this pioneer, everybody loves Mare. Yeehaw!
Oh, got me in the front butt.
What do you think the odds are that Darnell's dead?
He just called like a month ago, didn't
No, he did not.
Was it longer than
He
that?
hasn't called in a long time.
I felt
I
like
think
he
he's fine.
called recently to
He
say I'm not
called-
dead.
He called when we were at Oak Tree, I think.
No.
No, he called since
He's
we've
called
been here
since we've
once.
been here.
That doesn't mean he's not dead.
Would he know?
I'm sorry?
Would he
Would
know?
he know if he was dead?
He's probably wakes up.
Yeah,
and
he's like, I went towards the light.
yeah, I was like, yeah,
No,
I can't
he
see
wouldn't, but
anything.
neither would me. Neither would we. I don't want another Rick situation on our hands. We don't know what's going on. And he lives with his grandparents who were like infirmed. So again, it's
they
not
might
like
be dead.
yeah, but we're also not going to have any. We don't have any mutual. Well, Jenna knows him.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She calls every day. Ask her.
Oh God.
Yeah, give her a talk back call. Leave a message on her voicemail. See how she
Yeah.
likes it. Bitch, you know, Darnell.
I go, hey, how's Darnell doing? Yeah, she's still out there.
Yeah, did she friend zone Darnell, or did they used to date?
No, I think she just knows him because they're both in the
They're both blind,
mentally
yeah.
challenged. Well, not, I mean, they're both in the disabled musical community. I'm sorry, the physically challenged, the disabled musical community. So yeah, no, I don't know. You know, I'm so I was so traumatized by the Rick thing that it always makes me nervous. As long as this show has been on in Cleveland, obviously there's going to be some attrition. We lost Drunk Mike Jr. We lost, I'm almost positive we lost Oh, God. Who was the lady who used to call all the time actually Becky or
AKA Becky?
AKA
She
Becky.
didn't like me.
Well,
she didn't
like
die.
any-
Did
She hated my guts, and then she didn't like you,
yeah,
and then but like
she just
lo-
stopped listening. She didn't die.
Mary, people don't stop
I was
listening.
gonna say that I find that rare.
They hate listen. Maybe we have a ton of hate listening going on, but you might be right.
Yeah, because
I would rather have that than have her be dead.
When I first,
Actually, no. I'd rather have you be dead than not listen. I screwed that up. What?
When I first started this show, I thought AKA Becky and Drunk Sue were the same person. I thought AKA Becky was sober Drunk Sue. So I'm like, oh, this is just Drunk Sue calling while she's sober Sue. But
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that initially, but
yeah,
that's why we had to delineate.
yeah. So I found out they were two separate people, and yeah, you're right. She did kind of just fall off. I didn't hear from her.
Just like
Never
her
heard from
toe.
in like half a decade. Like I want to say like 5 years.
No,
Yeah, that's
'cause
half a decade.
She was calling when I first replaced Erica, and every time she called, it was how much she hated me, and she wished Erica would come back. I felt like that lasted for at least like through COVID.
But Mary, you I don't think through COVID, but you have been on the show
Yeah, I don't
almost
think
like
we
5
heard
years.
from her after COVID. I think COVID, because she was like losing fingers and toes. She was in bad health.
Things are falling off.
Leprosy?
I'm sorry?
Was it leprosy?
Oh, I don't know about that. Hansen's disease? I don't know what she had. Yeah.
I lost my toe.
That's where I got the name. I'm going to take a break here. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down is going to be live and in color very shortly. It's how you begin the weekend officially around these parts. If you want to send a text for something, 35192. You can watch live at AlanCoxShow.com.